gonna try really hard not to call you Little Corey because because that's the urge I have right now. Like Little Corey, it's like no, he's not little.
Oh God.
Yeah. So you are my first guest on my fine arts edition of Powerhouse Connect. So, as many people know that have watched previous ones, I am an academic advisor, and most of my students are STEM, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, pre-health. And so, one area that I haven't interacted with as much in terms of students, unless it was like hobbies and other things, is the arts. So, and I have an appreciation for the arts. I am not good at anything enough to consider myself. So
Lies. Lies.
Nah. I just sing for Jesus. That's it. And I take a couple pictures like this, and then that's it. But yeah, so I wanted to do a fine arts edition, and I realized that I had more people in my network that are involved in different aspects of fine arts. So today I'm glad to have you on here as my first guest, and you got a little bit of a few things, and I just seen you like move from like this pre-vet person to like being
Like
in the
me.
yeah. And I was like, what is Corey doing? So and definitely introduce yourself, tell people where you went to school, and then like a quick like summary of how you got to where you are, and then we'll talk about some highlights of where you are in terms of your career.
All right. Well, first off, my name is Corey Laramore. Zori calls, yeah.
Little Corey.
Thanks. Let's see. Goodness, I'm an actor, director, model. I do a lot of different things. I like to call myself an artist, to be honest. Like, I feel like that's the best way to describe it, because like I have a lot of different things I want to do, and different things like I can do. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this one day. I'm gonna try that. So it's different things I always feel connected to. Now for me, now you said give a little story, like how I got into it, kind of, or
Yeah.
just in general.
Because you went to where for undergrad?
So I went to Rider University. Rider. Oh, Jesus. Rider in itself is something else. But I went there actually for first I didn't know what I wanted to. I just know I wanted to do science, but I knew I wanted to do something in animal behavior. So I ended up studying behavioral neuroscience. I graduated with that, and then after that, I worked at a vet hospital for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout that whole process, I was still doing acting stuff, where I was acting in plays for different things. I was directing a choir at the time. What else did I do? Jesus. But like there was always like something in the arts I was always doing on the side. I just didn't pursue it fully. I think I started modeling around that time too, but not heavy. It was just like I didn't know I was modeling. I was just taking pictures. I was like, oh, like take this picture from me real quick.
Right.
So, but when I graduated and I was working at the vet hospital, I loved what I was doing, but I hated the people I was working with. It was so depressing. Like it was so bad. Like I felt like, I'll put it this way, the first day I got hired, that my boss said to me, she's like, oh, like, what do you do to de-stress? I was like, oh, like, I go play basketball. Like, it's a weird question, but, okay. Go play basketball, like, hang with friends. She's like, okay, you're going to need that. I was like, oh. Oh, okay. That's new. All right.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, this is the most depressing job. It's like ranked as like one of the most depressing jobs. I was like, really? Was like,
and she was a vet herself?
Yeah, she was no, she wasn't a vet. That's the funny part. She wasn't a vet. She was the like she basically was like the manager of the hospital.
Okay.
So she was just like, hey, like, this is a very depressing job. I was like, all right, I'll be fine. So I realized how it really is. It's not because with animals, they don't talk. So you're dealing with a lot of people throughout the whole process, and there's different attitudes. And then you got the people behind the doors. That's the doctors who have attitudes. And it was just crazy. It was a lot with that job. I hate it, but I loved the work I was doing, but I just hate the people. So I got to a point where I was like, well, I can go to another location and work there, or I can finally like pursue acting and modeling, which is something I wanted to do. And it was funny because like my cousin, Jessica,
Mm-hmm.
so she hit me up about a fashion show. She was like, "Oh, you should try this out. You know, it's Atlantic City." I was like, "All right, you know, I'll try it out. Let's just see what
Right.
happens." I did it, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually fun. Like,
Right.
it was lit." I was like, "Okay, like, let me try this out." So I did that. Then I ended up doing a short film, something like that, around that time. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go full force. And since then, that was what? Jesus, I think that was 2 years ago,
I know
three
it
years
went
ago.
so, it's like quick, because I feel like 1 minute it was like, oh, he did this like fashion walk. Okay, cool. Then it was like, you're in New York. And then I'm like, oh, he's doing commercials. Oh, like it was just like, it was like, oh, and then, oh, I got my film coming out. I'm like, I'm sorry. When did this all transpire? It happened really, really quick. Like,
It was like I don't even. It didn't feel like it happened quick, but it did. Because now I look back, it's like wow. Like when I look back when I first started, I look at some of the videos. I'm like, Jesus, like whoa. Like it surprises me all the time. But yeah, like every year I've always like built up on it. So like one year I would start like my whole thing was just to always keep learning. You
mm-hmm.
know, always learn more, and because I was coming from nothing, to be honest. I knew certain stuff, but it was mostly like I was relying on my own talent, so I had to do the research on my own. So I'll
Right.
reach out to different people, but like with and I kind of had to learn that on my own with this like field. You kind of have to put the work in. There is no, oh, here's a diagram on what to follow, and this is what you got to
Yeah,
do.
there's not like a
The
formula like everybody can. That road to stardom looks a lot different for a lot of people. So I guess like something you mentioned is like when you realized you had to keep learning as you were going, right, and you're moving. Did you see a difference with the people that you met between people who maybe went to school like in the arts and they had certain exposure early versus you who were kind of like, I didn't really go to school for this, but I had like, that kind of side entertainment where I was doing this and then I decided to pursue it. Do you feel like there was something that they had that you were missing or you wish you had, or you feel like it's just making you a different type of artist?
At first, I did. Like at first, I really did feel like I was missing. I missed out on a whole lot. I was behind, so I had to work extra hard to keep up with everybody else. So I still feel like that too, but still like that. but but it was like I felt like that, so I was like, you know what? But when I started to talk with them and have conversations, it was really they would have some of the same issues that I was having, where they were like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what to do. Like I went to school for this and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm like,
But oh,
yeah,
okay.
okay. Like I'm glad I like sometimes I'd be like, I'm glad I didn't, but I would say sometimes envious of them because to be surrounded by people that's of the same culture like that at all
Mm-hmm.
times is so needed when you're like in this industry because it's a bunch of creative people around each other. So everybody's fueling the other person's thing and you're meeting different people and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're in your hometown, everybody around you is like
Doing
in their
other stuff.
they're
Right.
doing yeah, that's one way to describe it. It's kind of like a lot of people are very comfortable with settling with where they're at. So when you got a lot of people that's like that and you're coming in with all this different stuff, they're gonna look at you like,
Mm-hmm.
that's nice. I'm that's you do that. So it's like it's very difficult to try to come out of that with
Right.
what you're trying to do and pursue. So I would say sometimes I was envious of that, but as time grew on, I found out that honestly, it's just based off of networking. Like it's networking plays a very big factor into
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the stuff when it comes to this because you could have no experience but know the right person and you can learn along the way with that person because they'll put you in the different positions.
Right.
So and or you just find out different things. So it's very like different when it comes to that. Like it's just, you kind of just have to do the work. You have to basically like do the work and meet different people and just try to find your way and learn different things from those people that have gone to them schools, and do
Right.
training on your own, like finding trainers at different schools, because sometimes you can do that without having to go to
You
school
could
at
do
all.
private. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to necessarily go in. So I guess like now you've done some modeling, you've had the opportunity to do some acting inside of other people's projects, but also um, you've been able to do your own. What was your title in WuTang?
Oh,
Tall gangster.
tall thug. Oh
I
God.
looked at the credits. It was like tall gangster Corey J. Laramore. I was through. I was.
cracking up. My uncle, he he was like, tall thug, I
Tall
see you.
thug.
That's what he said, kept saying. I was like, oh my God. Oh man, they was happy.
That show is hilarious. They're like,
Oh,
that's how they name the people. Now I feel like I watch credits more that I know. I have a cousin who does film in New York as well. He does backstage stuff.
okay.
And yeah, so I can link y'all for sure. He is a creative, like all the spaces. Like I've seen him on sets of like SVU, and I was like, "Yo, I seen that set." He was like, "Yeah, I was doing some work for the set." So it's pretty cool that Paper Airplane, the karate movie on Netflix, Paper something. Oh, it's slipping my mind. He actually did. He was like the manager of the construction set and everything for that movie. It was like number 3 or something on Netflix for a little bit.
Wow.
It's like a karate movie. It's a comedy. It's pretty funny actually.
All
Um, so yeah, so like I feel like you've been able to do a little bit of everything, and then you've had the opportunity to do your own creative outlet in terms of structuring the directing of the movie, the short film. Um, and so talk a little bit about that ability, that freedom and autonomy to create, and how you went about even, I guess, starting that project and being able to make it come to fruition.
right. That project still surprises me to this day, to be honest, because it was during the pandemic. I was talking to a friend of mine, Gary Nelson, Craig. So I was
Oh yeah.
talking to him. Yeah, so me and him was talking one day, and I was just like, we were just talking about like just the state everything is in with, like, I think it was like the political era with the kind of stuff that's still going on now, but just like
Mhm.
how, like, what would happen. I was like, yo, what would happen if a cop, um, cop, if a person actually got back on a cop, but it was black. And he was like, yeah, like I never thought about it like that. And we were just talking about it. And he was like, how about you make it? I was like,
I was like, oh.
he's like, I was like, I can write it. I think I said it to him. I was like, I can write it. He's like, for real? Because I think he said the idea. I was like, I can write that. And he was like, I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, write it. So I wrote it. And so we was going back and forth and ended up creating it. And then that was that. But with creating it, that process, that showed me all of the factors of every member of each team of what is needed. Because with that, I had to do a lot of research with that too. So it
Mhm.
was just a lot of the stuff where I really had to do it on my own. Like, um, I had to find the actors, find out where to find the actors, find locations, get the insurance for the location, stuff I didn't even know I needed to do. I was
I gotta
like,
insure the
yeah,
location.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, I'm gonna get hurt. I was like, what's the problem? I'm like, they
Right,
can just come.
right.
But it was like, because I was like, all right, so I had to learn everything from all the way from the pre-production all the way to the post-production. I did the
Uh-huh.
editing, when in the post-production with that, like Craig helped me in different ways, would like help me with the computer and things like that. But a lot of the stuff was like really on me, where it was just like, all right, like, like, do this. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So I legit had to do a lot of stuff with reaching out to different people, and learn the business a little bit more, and just
Yeah.
learning those different avenues. And honestly, like, what helped me a lot was on just listen, looking at different people who've done it. So
Mhm.
like, like Lena Waithe, Issa Rae. There's like a lot of different directors that I've followed where it's like, and even others that's new now, but I've followed them and just seen how they kind of built themselves up to be able to do stuff. And
Right.
and with the way that everything is now, it makes it a lot easier to find information on how to
Right.
do certain things
Yeah.
when it comes to directing, I guess.
I would agree. I think that social media, globalization, all that stuff has factored into things not being so hidden, right? And realizing that people can do this at different levels, and with that growth comes access to new resources and people. I remember when Issa Rae was doing, Awkward Black Girl on like YouTube, right? And so like to see her career trajectory pick up, I think it's inspiring for a lot of millennials. And what are you, Gen X? I don't really know what Gen with
I
Z.
think
I
I'm
don't really know.
millennial. I think I'm millennial. Oh, I don't
Are
even know
you?
anymore.
I don't
I
know
don't
where it
even
is.
know
I
anymore.
know.
I don't.
I
That's
know.
what I'm saying. Once I say, like, I feel like after '96, it's really like you a baby because it's just
You
like
just
you're a child.
you're a
Like you,
child because I don't know.
okay.
Yeah. So I feel like I what I hear. So a lot of times, obviously, in very formalized way, in terms of advising, we talk about mentorship and stuff. But it seems like you have like informally found your mentors within it. Not that they're mentoring you directly, but like you're using their careers as a way to example and try to figure things out in terms of how you want to navigate the field.
It's kind of been like that. Like there have been like specific mentors, like Gabriel Ellis. I reached
Mm-hmm.
out to him. Nasir, I reached out to him. Gabe, I reached out to a couple times because it was just like, hey, like, what do you think about this
Mm-hmm.
idea, or what do you think about how this audition looks? But I would only reach out to him on like bigger stuff because I was like, all right, like he doing like big stuff.
He's
Like I don't
doing
want to
big stuff now. Like,
I don't want to interrupt because like it's crazy because like it wasn't until I started doing more stuff that I understood why a lot of people that are up a little bit higher kind of keep to themselves with certain things because when you start explaining of how to do certain things, that's knowledge that is taking time out of your day. And then if that person isn't willing to put that work in, is a waste of knowledge.
it's always,
So
yeah.
everybody want to call me right
I,
now. This is crazy.
I put it on do not disturb because people are like,
That's what I'm about
oh.
to do now. I don't think I can. I'm trying to see.
Oh, probably because you're already on air. It's all good. All
All
right,
right, yeah, I'm good.
there you go.
All right, cool. Cause
Okay.
I'm like, let me. I didn't think I'll never get no calls. I'm like, well, this is interesting. This is interesting. When I need y'all call me, y'all ain't ready.
Y'all ain't ready. When I'm bored, nobody's calling.
Yeah, now y'all want to call me. Don't call me now. Uh-uh. But yeah, like when it comes to like giving out that type of knowledge, it takes time because you really want to help them, and I
Mm-hmm.
love to help people. But when it comes to that, like it could take a lot out of you because you could show them all these different things, and if they're not willing to do it, it really becomes a waste. And it's just like I gave you all of this, and you
Time.
took one thing. Is that I'm gonna try that because that's all I can do right now. It's like all right, like cool.
Right.
But that's what I say. You'll see, like, and I think they notice it too. Like you can notice the ones who are willing to put the work in, and those are the ones you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
And because they'll let you know, like, oh, like I did this, and this. You're like, oh, all right, bet. Like I might need to try that too. Like,
Right. You
so
came with. We can exchange.
yeah, like we can help each other. Like it's
Right.
something
Right.
like, but it's that's what I said. It's been a great experience throughout this whole process. To be honest, like it's just been a great experience.
Right. So, being that, I mean, I think that everybody, if you haven't already, check out Worthy Punishment. I honestly don't do like horror-ish. Like, it wasn't horror, but it was a lot of suspense and it was stressing me out. I think those kind of movies age you, so I'm trying to like keep my youth. So,
Oh god.
but I was like taken away. I'm like, yo, I know who did this. Like, that's crazy. And did it reach any, like, what are some of the accomplishments that you would, I guess, highlight as some of your successes so far?
I would, oh, just in general, like overall.
Yeah, even with that film, did it? I don't know how like
Oh,
short films work, and so educate me.
well, with that film, we won a couple different. I think we won over like 4 or 5 awards, something like that.
Okay.
It was like, so basically like you can submit them to film festivals. So I had to learn
Hmm.
this too. So it's just that's what I had to learn the whole
Okay,
process.
let's go.
I was just like, oh, okay, this is different.
All
So I had
right.
to basically like you could submit them to film festivals, and you have to even like you sometimes you have to even get accepted to submit to a film festival for them to even consider taking your money because you got
Mm.
to pay to submit to the film festival
You
too.
gotta consider to take my money to submit
Yeah,
my film. Okay,
that's how it is. Like
cool.
it's like, oh, like let me see. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take your money. Like I'm like, well, goodness, like I'm giving you the money. Like,
Right.
but they were really specific. So like it was crazy. Like almost like 50 festivals reached out to me saying, "Oh, we want your festival in here." I'm like, "Oh, wow!" So that was
Yeah.
amazing. And then like I submitted to different ones, and we got accepted in a couple of them. We won a couple awards in a lot of them. Um, as I said, I was really like I was blown away by the film because of how quick it was done,
Hmm.
on the budget it was done,
Right.
and like it was legit like just the idea that was like me and Craig just talking about. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like,
Right.
let's just do it.
But
And
that's that energy you were talking about, right? That you said that sometimes the people that you meet that went to art schools is like they have that, but it's not even about the amount, it's about the quality of the energy sometimes, right? And so if you have people who are like, do it, write it, and challenging you and accountability, you could get just as much done, even though you don't necessarily have as large as a network as some individuals who have been able to be in that realm so long.
no, that's so true. Like I did that film and we shot it in 4 days.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's insane.
We shot it in 4 days. That was like 2 weekends. We shot that in
Uh-huh.
4 days. The editing probably took like 2 weeks. I'm gonna say like 2 weeks.
Okay.
But the other stuff that was that there was just other stuff in between. But actually, like shooting the film, that was 4 days of shooting. So that's just 4 days of just work. But that
Word,
was it
yeah.
though, and that's what I'm saying. Like it really can be so simple, but you just have to be willing to really take that time and just
Hmm.
put the work in for what you're trying
Yeah.
to do. But let me see other accomplishments.
What
Overall,
I was about to say you've been in some commercials. Uh, of course, WuTang, that's on Hulu. Um,
let me see. I was in a Nathan's commercial. That was fun.
there
Uh,
was a football one, right?
yeah, I was in an NFL
I think I
commercial too.
remember. Yeah, I remember that.
I was in an NFL commercial. They haven't released that one yet. I don't think. I'm waiting for that. I can't wait for that to come out.
Okay.
But that one was fun. That one had a story in itself. I was in a 2K. I was in the 2K commercial. I don't think they showed that part though. So
No.
the NBA 2K, the new 2K
Okay.
game. So I was in that commercial too.
But you were in another Netflix movie where you were playing basketball or something, wasn't it?
I be
Did you
forgetting.
have
I
Yo,
gonna
you
lie to
gotta
you.
keep it right. I'm pretty sure that was one of the early ones because your dad posted it, and I was like, "Oh, he's on he's like a basketball," and it was something because you were like the tallest, like a tall enough person, and they were like, "Yeah, put him in."
Oh yes. What was I in? That's what I said. I like because I've been in background for like a lot of stuff
A
when I
lot of
first started.
stuff.
So like there
Yeah.
was so many movies like Gemini Man, Power. It was like so many like different
Oh
stuff. Law
yeah.
and Order. So that's what I said.
Yeah.
Like it was like different things. Like Power. I think that's what my dad talking about. Where like you could
Okay.
see me, and
You
it's
can
like
see your face right
yeah,
there.
and like you see me looking at the kid. I'm like, oh yeah, you gonna see my list
Take
with
it
the
in.
camera. Like you got I flex a little bit just to make sure they see you and stuff. But it was like it was crazy. Like I've been in mad stuff where it was just I did background, but those were like good experience. I just don't. I I think when I was like early on, I was like, oh, I'm real proud of this, and I'm still proud about it. It's just that when it comes to the way that a lot of agents and when they look at it and things like that, they don't look at that as, they look at you as like you're still just beginning.
Getting your feet wet. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't look at you as somebody, oh, I want to pick you. It's like, oh, you're still just getting your feet wet. And other people look
Right.
at like everybody else, they're like, oh, Steph, you're on this, you're on this. And actors
Right.
just look like,
Okay.
yeah. So it's just like, it's like, do I really want to share? Like when I first started, I was like, yeah, but share this. Woo. After that, I was like, yeah, bring that back.
That's okay. The family at home is gonna love
Yeah,
you and everything that you do.
that's what I said. So like, I started getting like, oh, okay, like cool. Because the thing is though, if you do background on a show, you can't be a role in the show unless they like want to use you specifically. But
yeah.
if it's like let's say I'm on Power. So like
Yeah.
you said, like I was on Power as one of the basketball players, right? They can only use me in that season as that character, like as a basketball player or
Okay.
something like that, because I was shown on screen.
On screen already.
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
I'm already on screen with that. But like let's say like if they wanted to put me in Canaan, they can't put me in there. You already see me
No.
in Power, because like hold on, ain't that unless they change like how I look. But I wouldn't mind. Hey, like you give me a whole goatee and everything. I'm a chameleon. You give me the whole, change me up.
Your little baby face.
I know.
Like, they go like, we need you to pay a 15-year-old boy. Like
a 6'5", 15-year-old boy.
I mean, I'm telling you, we got prodigies out here. People grow early.
I'm about to say, I had some big auditions though. Like,
Okay.
I have had some big auditions. Like, I was auditioned for like this Disney movie. I think they're coming out with like, I think it's about Giannis Antetokounmpo. I had an audition for that.
You be throwing these names, I just be nodding. I'm like, I know Issa Rae. Everybody else, I'm just like, okay. If you say so, I believe you.
He's a basketball player. You're a basketball player. My goodness. You're a basketball player.
I don't know. I know LeBron did, the Space Jam. I got that. And Iman, I call it, I want you to get famous enough so you could be on Dancing with the Stars, and then I could vote you in.
That'll be fun. I ain't gonna lie. If I get on Dancing with the Stars, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna look at the camera like this. I already know how I'm gonna be, because I'm acting a fool. They're like, where you been? I've been here the whole time.
I can't wait for you to be that guy, so I could be like, I love Dancing with the Stars. It's like a guilty pleasure, and I just love, like right now, I love the fact that that guy Iman. Oh wait, that's who you just mentioned? No, that's not Iman. Yeah, what you call this? Married to Tiana Taylor. Like he's gone the furthest, like for an athlete. I think I should say male athlete, especially basketball player, and he is killing it. He's killing it, and so I'm like, I love the show because it challenges people in an area they're not familiar with, and I think that's that thing about we can all grow in different ways, and just because you've become an expert or an icon or something in your field doesn't mean you don't have room to grow in another capacity. So I definitely love it. So I try to keep to these things like 30 minutes. So what I want to ask you in our last minute is like thinking about where you've been so far and where you hope to go. I like, how do you, I guess, what would you want to encourage people who are interested, particularly in the fine arts, that is so unpredictable? Because like you said, there's no like perfect formula of success. I just know that Jersey seems to birth more stars, out here than most. But
they don't give credit to Jersey, but they do.
They don't give credit to Jersey, but you be like, oh, so you went to the Newark school. Oh, okay. So you went, okay, cool. But it's cool. But what would you, I guess, put out there as like words of encouragement or words of wisdom for those who are like maybe toggling with like, should I pursue things and not, I don't want to be that starving artist, that kind of label, but at the same time, I do want to pursue what I'm passionate about and what I'm interested in.
I would say, honestly, pursue your passion, yes. Find out what you love to do and pursue that. Because either way you do it, honestly, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be challenges.
Right.
And with anything, and that's what anything you do, like with any challenge, like anything you do, there's going to be obstacles, whatever you want to pursue. But if you're like with this industry, I will say it is best to have sometimes something that is providing funds for it, but with that comes that's taking away from time that you could be putting towards that.
Right.
So you have to find what works best for you. And when that whatever works best for you, if that's pursuing it fully and just having something on the side that you can just do that like works with your time schedule, do that. But I feel like that's the best thing when it comes to that. And don't get caught up with everybody else's movements and what they're doing. If you
stay in
do,
your lane.
Stay in your lane, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. Like if you don't know anything, stay that. Like know that.
Yeah.
Because you will get discouraged and fail big. That's the last thing. Like fail huge. Like whatever you go for it big. Because you don't know what that could bring out. You don't know what that could change. You don't know like if you succeed, you succeed. And if you fail, you learn so much. So it's just it's crazy. So like I would say, like do those 3 things and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the process. Like
enjoy the process, right? So it don't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in STEM. We've heard that same theme with Richard, who is a physician, and also Ashley, who finished a PhD in chemistry, and now you, someone in modeling, acting, and directing. And it's all about, I guess, it's like a life lesson. Like enjoy the process. Definitely, like you said, like learn from those hardships and those challenges. And also, like, I feel like don't convince yourself you're passionate about something just because you're good at it. I think sometimes there's like that, like you're good at something, so then you're like, I'm so passionate about this. But like, check in with yourself. Be like, am I really, or am I just good at it, right? And it's okay to do things you're good at, right? But there's also sometimes that you have to put in that work to do things that you may not find that you come naturally, but you really have like that energy of wanting to keep doing it. So I told you I love the fact that I can like turn on my TV every once in a while and see you. I think that's pretty cool. I'm here for it. And
I got
many
stuff
people
coming. I got stuff coming for you. That's what I said. I got stuff coming for you.
I'm like, I'm gonna know Corey's whole IMDb. I'm like, he was in this.
As I said, I got a couple of things coming. Like the Static Shock thing, I'm gonna release on Sunday. Okay. So I'm gonna do that.
We'll definitely repost it. We'll post it, share it on here. I'm here for it. Anytime you do stuff, we gonna repost it, show it, make sure people definitely follow you. Give your handle in case people don't.
Did I put it in the chat? Like,
I mean, you can say it, and then I'll put it in.
Right. Right. So let me make sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Follow me.
This what happens when you bring comedians on here. You can't get nothing done.
As I said, we can talk for mad long. It's just gonna be us just regularly talking. So that's not. Anyway, follow me at Corey J Laramore __. I gotta remember. I think that's it. But it
you know
does
what?
not.
I'm gonna put it in the thing.
She gonna tag me. So it's all good.
Word.
But yeah. So follow
and
me.
You have his link in the bio that shows like your past projects, which is really cool. And so you guys can go, if you haven't seen it already, go see his short film. It's great. Of course, JL comes on.
You see it, right?
So don't follow me. His little sister is my little person. I have fun fact though. I remember when JL came into this world as little as she was. I have no recollection of you until JL was born. Like my brain knows that there was a little Corey, but like I don't think I like put you in my world of existence until JL was born. So thank you, JL, for helping me know little Corey, because I don't think I would have known it. She's gonna be happy to do
it. That's what I said. She already laughing. I already know I'm gonna hear this as soon as we get off the phone. She's gonna call me and be like, oh. As I said, it's all good. It's all good. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Like with y'all, I remember Faith. Y'all used to talk to me like, Corey, why you always cracking on people? I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Like
always with the jokes. I mean, you're your father's son and your grandfather's grandson. There's like a generational comedic aspect to y'all lives. Like people would understand if they knew that you're actually a milder version of like
Yeah.
the people before
You met my grandfather? Oh my gosh.
Right. I sat by your grandfather by accident in church, and I was like, what just happened? I didn't even know him, and he was like, why this boy grabbing the mic? He can't sing. He talking about your dad. And I'm like,
crazy.
No, coming crazy. He was like, and then he started singing. He said, well, look at that. He could sing. I was like, who is it? This is, and then he was like, oh, that's my son. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like how I happened to sit by his dad. That was hilarious. But yeah, I appreciate you being on here. I look forward to, we're gonna circle back. We're gonna bring you back in a year and see where you at, So don't ever get too famous to accept my invite. That's all
never. That's what I said. Never, you ain't gotta worry about that. Like that's what I said. I'll move my schedule around for that. Like that's what I said. You ain't gonna never have to worry. And we already know about the Colgate. So
that's it. I'm trying to tell you. One day y'all gonna see me out here because all I want is a toothpaste commercial. And or I just want to be an extra where I get to be like in the back. I don't want no line. I just want to be in the back and I want to be able to smile at the camera. So I'll let y'all know when that officially when I get my little person smiling in the back at table in the credits. Yeah. So thank you again. I love you. And I'm wishing you the best.
Thank you. Oh, also one last thing. I do have a web series coming out on January 1st.
Okay.
20 episodes. I'm going to bring out a trailer at the end of this month. So
okay.
I'll put that in there. Called Epitome.
Put that in there and I will repost it. I'm excited.
Yep. So it's going to be crazy. Now that one,
you putting the work in, huh?
Listen. You're going to see. It's going to be, we're going to do the interview. You're going to be like, Corey,
Okay, all right.
When's the next episode?
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Okay, sounds good. All right, you take care.
All right, you too.